We gonna talk about it. We are on live today. We got so much to say. So let me get cracking. What's going on? How y'all doing today? We're just coming to you live. We are coming to you live today. What's happening? What's happening? How you doing? What's happening? What's happening? How you doing? How you doing? I'm just coming on right now. Don't be alarmed if you don't see my stuff on real quick because I got to send all these apps out to let people know that I'm live. So hang in there real quick. I'm sending out my notifications. So if you're on, hang in there. Give me just a moment because I'm sending out the notifications because you know how it is in these YouTube streets. So give me just a moment. And if you stay on, keep talking. I'm right back. What's happening? How you doing? How you doing? Thank you for coming on today. Thank you. Thank you. Live and in color. Thank you. I am live and in color. What's happening? How you doing? How you doing? Thank you for coming through today. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. I gotta send all this stuff out. I still got stuff to do, so hold on. Almost there. Okay, I'm back. What's happening? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. How you doing? I am back. Good to see you. Let's get to talking. Let's get it. What's happening? I am live now, so let's talk. Anybody want to talk? Feel free. Let's do it. We are live. Easy, that's the end game. What's up? How are you doing? Thank you for coming on. I already just did easy edits and games. What's happening? Tell me where you're coming from. Appreciate it. 57% saying Jay-Z ain't no sell. Y'all still trying to have hope for Hover. Okay. The Bills just underachieved, but I wasn't surprised or shocked. Defense didn't play worth nothing. Josh Allen stunk up the game. And you can't give up 30 points and blame it on a interference call or nothing when you don't play defense and your quarterback's turning the ball over. It's too many mental mistakes. They had to make a change. I've been following the Bills for a long time. And when I say a long time, I go back in the day. He took the ball out. So it's called possession. So before he actually was considered down, the ball got stripped. So you gotta seal the deal. They got so many rules about the ball. After Megatron in the end zone, you gotta actually roll over like a seal. Um, I'm from all over. Where you from? You know. All I know is I'm not crying about that play because I've been before that because there was a guy named Chuck Knox who coached the Bills back in the early 80s. And that was cute far as that because there was no expectations. You can't coach a guy who's a league MVP, generational talent, and do what they did. That's just not cool. So they messed up badly. They messed up badly. And when you don't if you lose a game like that, you play a game like that and you lose like that, chances are you're gonna have some problems. And they did. They messed up. I just think that was because of the inside job. That's what I think. What do I think of Porzingis going to Warriors with Kamingas? Kamingas traded? Buddy Hield had to go. He was Clay Thompson's replacement, and he did not work out. He fell in the doghouse. The only reason why Draymond didn't slap him is because he was Buddy Hield, and Buddy Hield might fight back, but uh, they never got the production. If Porzingis can be healthy, but Porzingis is a third option. That's not really much of an option unless you got another front runner. Porzingis is dangerous if they had a second option. Oh, Kaminga's going to the Atlanta. That's a good look for Kamingas. Okay. Yeah. I think that's not much to do about nothing. That's not much of them. Atlanta got a nice little squad, but again, I don't know what that's going to mean. They couldn't get no offers. Porzingis is a guy that's a third tier dude who was supposed to be a front number one and sometimes looks like a legit second. He's more dangerous though as a third option. However, he's injury prone. He got some long cove effects, and his body is not really where it's supposed to be. So I don't think that that's necessarily going to be a long term stay. He can play, but I just don't think that's a long term stay. Well, they want Giannis. Kaminga had to go though. He was in Steve Kerr's doghouse for like 30 years, so unfortunately, I think he can play all right. I just think it's the style. That's all. So, yeah, and again, sometimes it's not fit. Some things, sometimes it's not a good fit. It happens. Guy might turn out to be something, but he don't fit for your system. It happens. It happened with the Buffalo Bills and Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn was with the Bills. A lot of people don't remember that, and it didn't fit. So it's not always the guy is a buster or something. It's just that sometimes you're in a situation that don't fit. Then you go to the right situation. Because one thing about the pros is very systematic. When you're playing, it's systematic. Cats got to fit. If they don't fit, it's gonna stink. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. But um, it happens. It ain't the end of the world. It ain't the end of the world. But if you lose, it's the end of the world. If you don't win, it's the end of the world. If you ain't on your game, it's the end of the world. But I think Giannis may end up in Golden State. I think there's gonna be something that's going down. I think the Warriors are trying to be slick. I'm on both of them. You can find me on both of them. That's they too old right now though. Porzingis with Horford ain't gonna win you no chip. You need another scoring option. Then you might have something. They don't have no defense, and they need a second option. That's not enough. Um, I don't know because they probably wanted the house and the roof and the car, and it ain't worth it. He's injury prone. What's happening with you? How you living? Yeah, I'm on both. I'm on all the social. I'm on pretty a lot of stuff. Milwaukee got a lot of nerve to be picky. I mean, the guy brought you a ring. He should be able to pick where he wants to go. Shh. You can't pimp him anymore. You know. I mean, the worst mistake y'all did is with Damian Lillard. Not much, just chilling, just trying to get some stuff sorted out. How about yourself? That means that he's at the end of his career. That's what that means. Yeah, well, body gives out sometime. You gotta, he been playing nonstop because they don't have no idea what they doing. They are basically trying to either go small or rotate. They don't have anything. That's what's cleaning up house, but they really don't have anything, and it hasn't worked. So yeah, who had a good prime? Who had a good prime? Oh, AD's one of those guys though that because he was a big man trapped on a small man's body, we never got the totality of him. We got increments. When was his peak? When was his prime? We'll never know. And the thing about it is that this is embarrassing, yo. Traded to the Wizards. I mean, can you say El Salvador? I mean, that's embarrassing. No. What to be excited about? I'll take Boogie Cousins over him for 500, Alex. No, SGA been balling. When you are within 5 games of Wilt Chamberlain for the most consecutive 20 points in a game, ain't no low management. He's smart. They I think they got kind of spent trying to go for the record, and the body gave up. He probably did because by the time he landed, he was in concussion protocol. I call him. You know what I call him, right? I call him. Uh, what is it? Broke joint mountain because he that dude is like a mountain that breaks. I mean, it's a travesty. But some of it is on him though because he just does not he doesn't play. Street clothes, call him window dressing, Vanna White. You say Trey Young and AD, you may as well what is Donald Trump the general manager? I mean, it's that the jokes write themselves. That's becoming the has been hangout. And if you were a used to be, that's where you go. That's where you go to die and retire. Oh, that's embarrassing. No, I'm going with the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks in a blowout. But if the Patriots win, it'll be a close game. But I like the Seahawks to spank that butt. Oh, I want the Seahawks to win. I know I don't buy New England. And I think it's only fitting too that they're cheating behind isn't getting elected to the Hall of Fame. So I think that's great. No, the Seahawks have been the best team I've seen. Second, they're the best team I saw. The most talented team I saw was the Rams. Trey Young ain't gonna do nothing. Sure, they will take at all costs. If we got a good pair of binoculars, I'm sure you will. The problems that they running is that they don't never ever have a Super Bowl that's just straight. No, did you hear what I just said about him? He fell off. He fell off. Now think about this. Trey Young screamed to go to DC. I think it's because of a strip club. I already shouted you out. Something like that. Because if you nip and tuck with Denver, and CJ Stroud basically cost Houston the game. But if Sam Darnold plays poised, they'll win the game. I just don't buy New England as a Super Bowl team this year. That's all. I could be wrong. I will say this: that Vrabel done a great job of coaching. Drake Mayn is kind of sloppy. Are you talking about Ted Lang, who I call Isaac from the Love Boat? Because if it's Porter Bayada, the bartender, because that's what he is. He a bartender. He's always serving X's out and grinning. He it might be LeBron goes to Cleveland. Could be another last second the old man party. Yeah, I guess the next time without the dreads, he'll just throw 3 interceptions. He need to stop. That's not the problem. He threw that bad fluff ball up there that got pick six, and he was trying to make something happen, and he just spends too much time thinking. They got to figure out a way to get past the second round. They always look good last season, first round, but the second round he just stinks it up. You got to figure it out. James Harden is one of those frustrating guys. Big old asterisk by his name. And I'm gonna tell you something. When he gets 30,000 points, he's gonna have buses and buses. See how great he is? And yeah, he's one of the best offensive forces. You can't deny it. He's also one of the most problematic guys I've ever seen. He's very polarizing for self-indulgent reasons. James Harden. Oh, it makes sense to me because if LeBron goes back to Cleveland, they want an old man party. That's what that is about. And Harding, Cleveland is a team that ain't far off. They're not far off. They're not far off. But they're not in either. But they had the right piece, they might could come out the East. So, oh yeah, that's a smart move on Harden's part because if he can get hot and Donovan Mitchell get hot, okay, I'm not dealing with no trolls. So thank you for coming on, Charlene. How you doing? Let's see. So you're saying Mobley Mitchell both? Of course, it's done. It's something I see because Mitchell can't lead no team, and I don't trust Mobley. The Pistons are the best team I've seen. I don't know what's wrong with Dexter, but this ain't the TV show, and he ain't whacking nobody. Oh, he's done. The NFL just unfollowed him today. He's done. And I saw the video last night with him and Harvey Weinstein from 2017 when they asked him about the prisons. He's done. He's okay on defense. That's not his problem. His problem is his attitude to stay consistent through a game. It's not about his defense or his offense. It's his attitude. He had jacked up attitude. That's the problem with him. Now, Luca and James Harden are actually the same person, just black and white. I mean, think about it. Both of them be looking for free throw. They hog, and it's good for stats, but it ain't. It ain't for your win. I don't hold it. LeBron's problem is just that he don't know when to get out. He don't know when to get out, and he act like he's scared he's not gonna be remembered. He don't really want to retire, but he got to know he ain't the guy he was. He look old and pathetic now. Yeah, he can run the hole. Just because you can run up and down the floor and make some plays does not mean that you necessarily belong on the court. Well, look at the Harvey Weinstein video. It's all on there right now. No, no. Because Mike Brown fell out. Jalen Brunson is another Luka, James Harden type. They got ball hoggers and they don't free the rock up. They play too much ISO. I don't trust them over the Pistons. And I think the East is open. And Boston might sneak in there. So hey, just saying. So if you get a piece, make it happen. Detroit's coach, Bickerstaff. Because who saw the Pistons running to anything? They don't need enough firepower. They just need a piece. They don't need a lot of firepower. They just need a piece. They can stay what they're doing. They're gonna be tough to beat as it is now. I'd probably say Warren Beatty. But it's kind of different approach to acting. Because one's a leading man who had charm, the other one was more that, that fiery type. I'd probably still give it to Warren Beatty, though. Um, in the West, if I go by mainstream, left to die. Mainstream sucks right now. Bad. If you go independent artist and you got something that's cool, but if I go by the mainstream, left to die. It's horrible. Because aside from a cat like a Bruno Mars, you know, you're gonna tell me Kendrick Lamar deserves 27 Grammys and Beyonce deserves all them awards, all this stuff. Who is making great music like that? That you sitting there going like, wow. Not in the mainstream. Not in the mainstream. I think that plays a part, but I think the biggest problem is he's turned into a diva. And he didn't use common sense with Drew Holiday and all the firing of the coaches. I think his actions then kind of turn people off too. You know, if that were the case, then Kawhi Leonard wouldn't have a lot of suitors, and he's still getting Harden wouldn't either. I think, and they tolerate a lot. Excuse me, they tolerate a lot. They tolerate a lot if he can play 3 or 4 years. But I think the problem is that he may have waited too late to get up out of there. I think that they're using those awards as a some kind of weak measuring stick. I think the problem with LeBron is that if he was really that all around player, he'd fit in perfect still. If you're top five or so in assists and you're rebounding, you're triple doubling, then how come you can't ingratiate your game in today's game? See, that's what makes his numbers overrated. Because if you're an all around player, this would be in your wheelhouse. It's where the cap comes in. That's where he looks bad. He doesn't look bad in terms of his age as bad as he looks in terms of the fact that he can't even he can't even make himself look good in a situation where it's pretty self-explanatory. And so this is what makes it look bad for him. See, I'm of the mindset, okay, if you really are a 22 6-6 guy, right? How come your stats don't reflect it for your team? That's his real flaw. His stats are overinflated. That's the problem. I prefer earlier versions. The rapper he's still gonna be. No, he ain't. That's pretty much how I feel. But that's what makes stuff gets manipulated. And now that they hand out Grammys like it's the Tooth Fairy handing out money, they met people thinking. No, well, see, he to be honest with you, he ain't old school Ice Cube. He ain't old school Scarface. You see, there's a lot of cats. He ain't LL Cool J. Because if I was gonna give a guy popularity for his hit records and hit songs and near LL Cool J should be mentioned. Yeah, ain't Kendrick should not have no 20 more than him. Giancarlo, that's not really a fair comparison because Mario ain't the kind of actor to match with. Mario is a decent actor, but it's more of a slash thing. Whereas now, Giancarlo is a better actor. Giancarlo's one of those cats that I got to think of somebody who I'll compare him with. That wouldn't be fair to. That wouldn't be fair because they two different types of actors. Giancarlo got crazy range. Someone used to say he's just a. Who you talking about, LL? Except LL used to battle. LL came down to the heyday golden age of hip hop. And all I'm saying is if you're giving somebody awards like that, he should be the first to come to mind. Got a guy around since the 80s and still got hits. Oh, now this is a good question. Um Musically, Ike and Tina, show busy, Sonny and Cher. But I like the question though. Show busy, I gotta say Sonny and Cher. Oh, Kendrick? Yeah, it's cause he basically I'm gonna be real with you, it's been the last year. Cause he dissed Drake and somehow that. Yeah, well. But you gotta understand something when you selling records, you gotta remember, you know, it's politics involved. It's a lot of politics involved. Hip hop ain't even hip hop no more, so they don't go by. There would have been a time would Kendrick have been any deeper than Lupe Fiasco. Just saying, you know. So it's a different standard these days. I don't know what that means. Yeah, well, it's always been the case. I mean, hip hop is more always been about attitude, and that's what's selling on you. That's what they do. And that's one of the reasons why it's never taken serious. You know, that's why it's not taken serious. You ask somebody if they take it serious, they'll tell you that because of the way that it's sold, it's because it hasn't been stripped away from mainstream hip hop. It's been stripped away from the culture. There's a difference. It's very mainstream because that's how they see black folks. It ain't been stripped away from hip hop. It's been stripped away from the culture. See, there was a time when they used to scare white folks about so and so, and then when it got to be whitewashed, because there was a time cats didn't know how to handle it, and then when cats went to the lowest common denominator, throwing jewelry and cars and chasing skanks, that's when it got, and that's what they've been feeding off into the situation. Well, I just used him as an example to prove my point about Kendrick getting all these Grammys because cats like that were not getting awards like that. You fell into a certain criteria. Whereas that's how the era has changed that they've watered the game down. Because I seen cats that, you know, there were Kendricks before Kendricks. So it's different now. Two different Borns. I listened to Born to Be Wild more, but Born in the USA was a bigger song. Two different Borns. Well, them days is gone. I did too, but it don't exist no more. It's all about your pockets. And they don't want that no more. That's what they want. Why you think look at what they pushing in the algorithm? Why you think Cardi B and all that mess is being sold and sexy? Why you think that is? And it's dirty old white dudes who like it. Shit. Yeah. I see it. I see it. Dirty old white guys who like it. Like these pervs that are all on these Epstein files. That's who's pushing it. Wake up. Let me stop the tape right there. Yeah. Public service announcement. That whole Epstein thing, everything you seen, this is what you see with the hip hop ramifications right now. Think about it. Repeat what? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. If they get healthy. Remember, they lost a close game last night to Wimyamba. If, if they come correct. But I keep saying this. Chad Hogan has the ball. They have to dominate in the paint. That's the key. If they don't dominate in the paint, then Wimyamba can beat them. After and Simpson. Ain't no power Beyonce and Jay-Z. That's like two kids playing in their folks' clothes. That ain't no power. Ashford and Simpson built catalogs, built reputations. You looking at someone who's been told they made a lot of money and did all this. What power? What have they done to unify the culture? What great songs have they combined together with? You know, just saying. So that's how I feel about it. You can stop me if you think I'm lying, but how I feel about it. Which video? Which video you talking about? Which video? And thank you. Which one you talking about? I don't think you realize how big Ashford and Simpson were. They, there is really no other duet that's gonna see what they did with their pen game and the impact. I mean, when you write "Ain't No Mountain Higher," they wrote standards as a husband and wife duo. That Renee and Angela ain't even on the same. They're not scratching. They're not knocking at their window. I can't think of any. I have to be hard pressed to think of any couple that I would rank on them. Beyonce and Jay Z's success is one thing. You asking me about household songs that people care about left and right? No, they're not seeing Ashford and Simpson. If you're asking me about a power couple in terms of the Hollywood elite system, yeah. But if you're asking me about a couple that, they'll never do that. You know better than that. They ain't gonna never do that. Do you know where you live? Come on now. It's justice and then it's just ice. It's two different forms of justice. As long as you understand that, we don't have to have no more discussions. Justice and just ice. Why you mad at him? Did you see my video? That was hilarious. And he made up for that old sucking up to LeBron mess with the rim. He saw Slurp. But when he came back and said that she ran him a Peyton Pritchard, oh, I howled. And her face was priceless. I howled. I howled. That was my video. I love that. He redeemed himself with me. I was like, okay, Reggie, you redeemed yourself. That was hilarious. And on True, he was like, yeah, you remind me of Peyton Pritchard. And her face was like, she thought he was going to say Steph or SGA, you know, or even him. But he said Peyton Pritchard. That was hilarious. Oh, that is hilarious. For real. For real. Imagine if you were a point guard, right? And you were white and you sit up there and you thought that you were the second coming to Mark Price or John Stockton, right? And someone said, yeah, you remind me of Scott Skiles or Kirk Heinrich. Yeah, you remind me of Kirk Heinrich. Do you know how far your face would go? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. She ain't no Steve Nash. Just because she throws her hair and it's straight, she's not Steve Nash. She's soft. She gets picked on screens, and she ain't complete as a player. She ain't. Yeah, now that would be hilarious because he used to have that grandpa hook shot he would throw up. Because I lived in Seattle. I lived near Seattle, and I remember Luke Ritton. I remember where he went to Blaine High School. I remember him very well. Had an old man hook shot, old man play. He got it's in Linden, Washington. He has a gym there. So does who was the quarterback that used to play for University of Washington? And went to see he ended up playing NFL with the Titans. Can't think his name. He got a gym in Ferndale, Washington. Um, it'll come to me. But anyway, he didn't last long in the NFL. But anyway, Luke Rittenhouse got a. So yeah, because usually I be getting disgusted by Reggie. Carmelo just trying to score some points. That's all. You think he'll get in the Hall of Fame if he lie? No, not talking about that. I'm talking about this cat used to play for the Titans. He went Jake Locker. Jake Locker. That's who it was. Locker. Anyway, yeah. She's in the entertainment industry and she's trying to appeal, and you do whatever you gotta do. That's not my problem with her imagery in terms of how she looked. That's not my problem. My problem with her is that corny music that she keeps putting out and how she's pressed always thinks she's got these albums of the years like she's something special. And all these awards she gets and all this stuff when she's put out marginal product. Got a tight voice, but the charisma and personality does not equate to what she's been putting out. So I don't hear it. You know, I don't hear it. Ah, well, a lot of them are. Yeah, she got to pay the piper. It's a lot of, like I tell people all the time, the business ain't straightforward. Shoot, that's a business. I've listened to her records when they came out because I wanted to hear what the hype was about. So if I could have a conversation, I say, okay, I hear it. I listen to that country so-called record. And the problem I have with her is that she tries to go out of her way to sound like she's doing something innovative, and she's not, you know. She doesn't use her voice the right way, and she doesn't have anyone to write her no songs, and it shows. Tell you right now, I don't really get into all that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with her how she looks. I just think that her music puts me to sleep, and her overbearing attitude is more tiring. And it's coming out. It's coming out because it's gonna come out about her. because you give up yourself in that business. No, what you're insecure. It's an industry. That's an industry. They pick you up to tear you down. You gotta understand how the industry works. It's eye candy, eyesores. That's what they do. People don't tell the truth about the business. I ain't really studied Hadley like that. The problem I did a video about Hadley Berry, and she been passed around the industry. So, because when you're trying to come up, you got people saying you need to be more with the wider audience. You need to be more appealable. They talk to you like you look like Raggedy Ann. That's cosmetics, though. That's how the industry works. It's nothing new. Nothing new. It's nothing new. To have self esteem is, but it's nothing new. Nothing new. I don't know if y'all watched the Sean Stockton show, Boys to Men. He had Sheila E. on this show in the interview when she was talking about what they wanted the cast was trying to do. I really don't pay her a lot of mind. I'm not gonna really get into that. She gotta do what they wanted to do. I don't think you understand how the business works. There's a lot of handlers because that's what the industry wants. That's how they tell her that you sound black enough. Am I black enough for you? Because it didn't sell. Again, that's what they do. That's part of when you sell. Well, how you think you get all those awards? How you think you get all those platforms? Hmm? You up here asking, saying stuff. You smart. I gotta tell people common sense stuff. Can't you see what they do? Can't you see how they parlay you? Can't you see? They sell you like you an auction block, plantation. You got to parlay. You got to pay. Ain't nothing for free. I tell you every day, cheeks for checks, booty for looty. Trying to tell you. You ain't trying to hear me though. Okay. And you come back asking me the same thing in another way. I'm telling you what's up. Yeah. Think most of them do be playing with you. Most of the rappers are actors, okay? The ones that play soft on TV are usually will come and mug you and jack you of everything you got. And the ones that play like they hard and tough, they'll come and roll on you with play the Avon lady on you, okay? So keep that in mind. The so-called soft ones will come and burglarize you, and the ones that are considered hard will come and play Avon with you. So and then guys do sell Avon, but okay, let me say that I gotta think of another way to word that. They'll do something that's real twinkish. Yeah. So you got to get that imagery out your head. It's very distorted. That's what I'm trying. Well, LL never really faked like he was accessible. LL was always kind of like a cat that was middle of the road. So it's not surprising. Hammer though did the acting though. Hmm. And Will Smith plays all soft and lost on TV, but he really be what he did to Chris Rock was the real him. That's real him. Ice Cube was really a nerd. I'm telling you, these cats be acting. He was. I knew about that. I knew about that. I followed those cats. Detective is Dick Tracy, but for the lifestyle is James Bond. But I'm not doing it as a video thing. I told you a lot of these rappers be acting. You gotta remember. Let me give you an enlightenment if you don't have never heard this. Hollywood studios for film industry was created back hundreds of years ago, right? So on the Warner lots, all those lots and the agencies and all that, they crafted characterization. So that was before the music industry took off. So they a lot of that's why you see a lot of singers and rappers become what? Actors and actresses, right? They have ad agencies. They give you a script. These cats is scripted. All the stuff that you see ain't really what these people are to be. It's a lot of hocus pocus goes on. We know that. That's why they had to change the laws in New York State and California. But you see, they had these rappers taking on these old Italian mafiosa names, and these turkeys got caught up doing the same thing. I'm gonna tell you a story because I know somebody I know real well, and the kid took Italian name. And see, the thing is that what's so funny is that was in the last 10 years. Because cats was doing that from the 80s, 90s. See, that's the OG. And it's just another slave mindset. Yeah. No, people are dumb. Don't, hey, you said it, they are. There's a bad spiritual feng shui going on energy in the universe. I think the artists today curse too much. I think it's too much vulgarity, and I think they're too negative. And I don't think there's a happy balance. And the thing is that this is what they got to do, though. That's how they don't own that stuff. That's why people like Nicki Minaj, all of them can cosplay. Yeah, well, I haven't stopped. I don't. I'm aware of I'm aware of acts. Let me just say that I'm aware. But when I heard that mess that J. Cole is doing now, mm, it was. Yeah, but the thing about Pac and DMX, they actually wrote out songs. They actually wrote out lyrics that made you think. This cast today is just trying to cash out to what they don't know. You know, it was a difference in the field. Like I said, it was a different era though. Different era. All right. That's because that's what sells. So Chameleonaire was talking about that's what the industry told him. He didn't want to put a stick on his record, so his record sales went down. And they do that on purpose. That's what they got to do. I'm telling you, that's what they got to do. Industry owns you. and they expect you to be a heathen. They were using. Luther wouldn't have done it. Whitney did have one song, and Michael did on the history. Aaliyah on a remix, but again, but Luther it would have definitely not something he would have done. He wouldn't have done it. Whitney maybe. Michael did. I don't know about Aaliyah. But oh please. Well, Mary J always been vulgar. That ain't nothing new. Did you ever listen to that live album from '97? Please. If you listen to that mess, she was cursing and drunk and pitiful. Taylor Swift got to sell records because she was seen as like somebody's school teacher. And she had to act like she toughen up. But I can't stand when most of them do because a lot of them just be saying stuff and they don't, and just saying it because it sounds cool. That was one of the worst live albums I ever heard in my life. She cursed. So it was like 22, 23 songs, and she had about 20 interludes. And then she didn't start singing until like song 15. The first half, I was like, oh God. That thing was like a frisbee. Well, I'm gonna let you in a secret. Most people steal everybody's image in the industry. That's not my problem with Beyonce. It's them songs. It's not about whose images she took. She took J Lo's too. But that's not me or nor here or there. That's the songs. Man. So well, people always stole stuff. It's just that the problem that you got today is that you have no one to check nobody because the companies don't care where you get it from. They just want hits. And got time to be wondering about who you jack. We just want hit songs. That's all it's about. You ain't gotta be sorry. That's how I feel about it. Cause it sounds like Leo says you make me feel like dancing. And I do 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 do. Do. It's cute. I hope the record's better because that didn't really do much for me. But he's also been around 20 years, so he's not exactly gonna rock the cradle either. You know. Honey. Mm. He don't need to have a lot of albums. He got a new album coming out. It'll be his fourth album. He don't need a lot of albums. If you write like he does, he's not in an era where people care about that you have an album every year or every other year. They don't care. Attention span ain't the same. If we were in another era, he's the one guy I would love to have seen in the 90s, how he did his thing. But that's fine. Do you prefer? More old school because there was more versatility. Problem with modern country music is just like it's watered down, and the vocals are alright, but this the old school had better feeling in the music. They had identity. Well, they use more technical things today, but I like the old school better. Yeah. Alan. I was more into Vince Gill. I did like Reba, and I like Naomi Judd too. Alan, don't let the jukebox, baby. I remember that one. He was big back then, and Reba had a nice voice too. Uh-huh. I used to like this woman named Katie Mata. She was around the same time as back when Shania Twain was out. Does racism still exist? Garth Brooks in a blowout. Come on now, Charlene. Morgan Wallen, Jason Aldean. For the people who don't think that I keep up with country, yes, I do. For the people who don't think I know about the rednecks and the haters, yes, I do. Kid Rock included too. Yes, I do. Good old boy, good old girl. Yes, I do. Just because they have a few token blacks sprinkled in there does not mean that they are hunky dory with you being in there. Yep. Yep. Unless you want token Brad Paisley and you want you know, Brooke Blake Shelton. I mean, come on now. I like Reba. I like Reba. I was more of a Dolly Parton fan, but I like Reba. And I love Buck Owens too. And Roy Clark. Roy Clark, one of the baddest guitar players. Yeah. Yep. I don't like y'all. I just like you. I ain't got no comment on that. He got caught and he has fan base. But they are racist to the bone. It's funny how you can go to Grand Ole Opry on one side and Stax Records, and they both from Tennessee, and it feels like night and day. I used to live in Tennessee. I kid you not. Some good old boys. It don't mean nothing as you work with black artists. Clan work with you. They work with you. Clan will make money with you. What about Johnny Guitar Watson? I was listening to him today. I was to a real mother for y'all. I respect her hustle, but she don't do nothing for me musically. She's lighting the cakes. She a corny third tier act. She's like Katy Perry. They're like annoying acts, but They know how to keep a hit song, keep somebody around. That's the name of the game. But anyway, you got to make it work. She makes it work. But talent wise, no. She lighting the cakes. Just like how she really is, lighting the cakes. No, she don't. There is no genre and identity issues. That's one of the most insulting things people can tell me. White artists don't have genre identity issues. They have everything at their disposal. They can be anything they want. They cosplay at will, at item. Shoot, tell me she got identity issues. That's funny. No, she's a marginal talent, just like her daddy. But bless they soul, they know how to keep a hit. Bless they soul, they know how to hustle. And bless they soul, somebody bounds them. You're gonna have here acting like she's the second coming of Linda Ronstadt, and I'm not trying to hear it. She ain't that good. Aguilera does a better version of it than her, but Aguilera gets called over singing. But Aguilera got more talent in her pinky than Miley Cyrus got in her being. Except Billy Ray Cyrus is her daddy. Except Miley got more personality. She's got certain charisma. And that's the part that I do understand. So you ain't talking to somebody who don't get it. Christina Aguilera. Christina Aguilera runs circles around Miley, but the problem is if Miley had Aguilera's vocals, then yeah, your point would be very valid. And if Aguilera had Miley Cyrus' charisma, well, Shador did play better than Cam Ward did, but that's at the bottom of the crack barrel right there. Man, they neither one of them. That Pro Bowl is a joke anyway. So that's just for people who want something novel to laugh at. That shouldn't even be up for discussion. That'd be like someone taking Omarion over Marcus Houston. Well, come on now. I mean, and you're in a low budget section of the store. What's gonna happen? Cam Ward needs some structure and some discipline, but he had some okay games last year for Tennessee. Gotta have the right songs, and you can't tire people out. That was one of the problems against him. Aguilera, you don't hear me? If you can't hear me, give me a one. If you can hear me, give me a two. If you can hear me, give me a two. If you can't hear me, give me a one. They won't. They won't. Because the problem with the Timberwolves is that they got no structure. They need a point guard. They need somebody that can facilitate and let Ant roam free. That's where coaching and having a system. If you had a triangle with Ant and Rudy Gobert was on the out and Julius Randle, they should be able to be contending. That's they've been to two Western Conference Finals, so they just missing someone who knows how to polish what they got. That's what they're missing. They need a polished coach. That's where a Phil Jackson, Pat Riley guy comes in and takes that next step because Ant is fit for it. It depends on what you picked up. I think the Timberwolves are a legit team if they pick the right parts. But I think they need another head coach. I think they're gonna have to Buffalo Bills your situation. I said you're gonna have to Buffalo Bills your situation. Cause his systems is kind of I don't know. But I'm saying with the right piece, you could get in the way of OKC. You get in the way of San Antonio because it's there for the taking. That's because he wasn't really producing the way they want him to. That's what that was about. And besides, they trade him there because the Bulls suck. So ain't no ain't no skin off they behind by letting them go to Chicago. Now he ain't worried about him. Josh Giddey ain't gonna go no contender. So he lucky he don't get deported. But anyway, he ain't gonna go nowhere legit. He's a runner. He just gonna stat field real nicely for you. Ain't gonna be no more with him. Nobody legit is gonna break their neck to get him. They could get him on the bottom end. Well, I think that he needs some work. He needs some work. But no, I think he retire. I think if he don't go to Cleveland, he goes home. I really do. He ain't got a lot of options, so. Mm. They're not getting rid of Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell's over one of the pieces they got. The other some no. Mm. All right. I got about 5 more minutes, so he ain't got no 3 years in him. The problem with him is that you can tell it's take a lot on him. And it's like, yo, they're yanking you away now. Yeah, that's a good move for Atlanta. Yeah. He ain't gonna nah. I give LeBron probably one more year. Um, it's gonna be a Lee and R. Kelly for and but it really wasn't that neither one of those situations was a big deal in this regard. People didn't care about it. It's only recently because the industry pimped Aaliyah and they mad with Kales. As far as Donna Ross and Barry Gordy, it was an inside joke because she had the baby and she was doing what she did for her tracks. But the funny thing is that they tried to pass it off as that Jewish guy's baby and it wasn't. Yeah, I think Walmart. Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard's okay. He's a journeyman. He did. Well, I admit it because I loved them together. It's just that he just didn't keep it together. he kept it together. There could have been like a Jamie Lewis with Janet situation because he knew how to put the right songs with her. He really did. If most LeBron is one more year at most, well, that's on them. But if LeBron, you know, it's gonna be hard to come back next year. Hmm. I still got to say control. Still say control. Yeah, well, it was out. You have to look it up. It's on YouTube. And they yanked that joint too. All sesame seed patties and she yeah, yeah. But Mary needed some money, so yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say control. It not it's her most important record and it still stands out to me. And then Rhythm Nation. I think her music career did. I think she took some suspect material and it was beneath her. And I think she did. And I like Janet for the record. I mean, she's one of the most important female artists of the last 30, 40, 50 years, but her material did fall off. Mm. I'm taking Janet Jackson. Because aside from vocals, what does Mariah have over Janet? And Janet's got better albums, better music. And Mariah did more of the club thing. But yeah. He can play. He can play. I like his work. Hmm. Yeah, I will. I like Robert Glasper. I like a lot of stuff he does. They both pop singers. There's not a lot that separates them both. Let's see. Did Mariah Carey cover Janet Jackson's brother's music? Yes. So how is it so different? They're both pop R&B acts. The difference is that Janet had albums that hit, and she tried different things, and she's been doing a lot of stuff. Um, Mariah could have been like with a chaperone. I think she's good. She just ain't got the right songs. I think that if Layla had the right material, she got the voice. But you see, when you don't have the right songs, then you just become just decent. Let me give you an example. That's like imagine a great quarterback, talent wise, but doesn't like Jeff George, Jay Cutler, you know, cats that were kind of half-timey, you know. Like if they had actually put the work in, could have been first tier. So that's what I'm talking about. problem. Well, that's the problem with a lot of disposable acts. That's all it is. He's disposable. That's a nice, polite way of you saying he's disposable. But you just did. So you validate what I've been saying about a lot of these busters. That's all it is. Oh yeah, well that's two different animals at work there. Rakim's on this whole, that's different. You ain't say nothing that I ain't understand. I get it. Well, that's because people are trying to make it sound like these cats are saying something, which, you know, I mean, again, it's all in the arbiter of the eyes of the listeners, but ASAP Rocky is just a gimmick. He's like some cat that he got over, and we don't even know how he got over, but he sold his soul, though. You can bet your bottom dollar on that, which they all do. They all do. Start doing strange things in all over places. They do. Okay. I'm gonna go in about 5 minutes too. So 5 more minutes. Okay, that's fair enough. I'm definitely coming back on Sunday. So probably around the same time. I'll be on way before the Super Bowl. So just letting you know. Nothing the next 2 days. I got stuff to do. But I will be back on Sunday. So look up, be on the lookout. Just like I said before, these acts come and go. Cause they gotta try to make a bigger hit. You asking questions, I'm trying it's the best way you to understand. Sometimes the artists are what they're and now it's when they first come out. And it's interested, well, can you get this? Can you get that? And you say, I think I could. And you end up, forcing the issue. So that's all it is with that. They come and they go because some of it is because of politics and some of it is because they gotta, they think they're gonna try to hit that, that crossover. And it's a strange business. I'm gonna tell you just like it was like 3 or 4 years ago. Kendrick came out and there was no buzz. Then all of a sudden after he did not like us and everything, then all of a sudden the business strange. Because that's what sold records. I know what he doing, but that's what they wanted. The more thug and rugged you act, that's why Ice Cube got to be with being his bonnet because Cube was like, "Hey, I was you," and that's what sells. Think about it. His biggest hit is "Dissing Another Black Man." That's his biggest song that most people know him for. You know, that's his anthem. All right. That's how the industry works. They make you do strange things And people be doing strange things. 55% saying Jay-Z's a sellout and done, so it's close. I only like a handful of stuff he's done modern. It's not a lot. I like the old Jerry Curl Fiery Waves. I'm sorry, I always will. Still funny though. Better at what though? He just did what he just made himself into a businessman. That's all he did. Better at what though? I think he done. I want him to be done because I'm not buying that he's Mr. Honesty. Well, they all in it for the money. I'm not holding nothing about because you are want to consume product. What they're doing is not even about money. It's about selling a lifestyle. That's the problem. It's not even about the money. They're selling a lifestyle that they have to subscribe to. So let me get this straight. Y'all spend all y'all days talking about how bad and vile Diddy is, but y'all turn around going to another spot. Mm-hmm. Tyler Perry. Because, yeah. So that's all. Thank you. Tyler Perry, come on now. Because TP to different channels. 50 just he's got 99 hood film projects. Not the same. Not the same. Yeah, but the difference is that Tyler Perry stuff works with your mama, your granny, your auntie, your cousin, your godmother. 50's thing don't quite go like that. And he's not in the food chain with Tyler. Understand Tyler could buy to have 50 services or someone looks like him. Just saying. Wish the non applicable was used because that's how I feel about that question. Talk about, just saying. They all do it. But the thing is that Tyler, yeah, great talking to you too. The thing about Tyler though is that he did it concrete on the stage and theater and all that. You know, his practices got him over and all the stuff he did. There's two different approaches to business. You know, 50 got the grind, and then he learned how to compartmentalize and he hung on to his money and he made wise choices. However, Tyler Perry, he had to do all that work and he made it count. And, he's got his bread buttered on both sides. He followed the blueprint of Oprah Winfrey, and that's where he at. So, good chicken balance. Yeah, thank you too. Oh, 50's suspect too, because that whole thing with Diddy's because of the baby mama. And see, first of all, when you sliding chicks in the industry, you very suspect. But see, y'all want to hear it because he looks like he's the smart, tough guy. But the only reason that with 50 is because he got him some brand stuff that happened to take off. Well, he had the right conglomerate. He worked with him, and then he worked with Jamie Iovine. He worked with the right people. Whoever put him in gear in the right situation covered his behind from total eclipse of falling off. So it was a smart man. Very smart. Yeah, so that's how I look at it. So it's good portfolio action. All right, I'm gonna give it a roll though. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay true. Appreciate everybody that came through. Great questions, great answers. Thanks for taking the poll. It's a lot closer than I thought. But anyway, so it shows you how divisive and polarizing Jay Z is. So anyway, appreciate everybody coming through. We'll be back on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. Stay safe, stay blessed. I woke. I'm out one time. Peace. Thank you. Appreciate you.